Hey there, comic book friends. I'm Travis, and this is going to be, I guess we'll call it a shout-out video. Really, what it is a happy birthday video to a dear friend of mine, Eric from Longbox Review. Want to wish him a great and happy birthday. Another reason I'm doing this video is not only is it his birthday, I want to take a few moments to talk about how special Eric is to me. Me and Eric have been, actual friends, not just, internet friends, for, I'm thinking it's more than 30 years now, which of course makes us both really old, right? But yeah, I've been friends with Eric since junior high. And Eric is probably one of the biggest reasons I am a comic book collector the way I am a comic book collector now. And I say that in the fact that I bought comics before I was friends with Eric. I bought comics here and there and whatnot, but I never had a pull list. It was never an active monthly, kind of a thing. It was a show up every week to the local grocery store and see what was on the spinner rack, and if I get multiple comics in a row that were in order, that was awesome. But whatever. But yeah, I became friends with Eric, and I'm not sure if I became friends with Eric because I saw him, the group of friends he was with, going out of a place that I had just discovered sold comics, or if it was vice versa. I became friends with Eric and then discovered there was a place that, close to us that sold comics. At any rate, I'm foggy on that part of it. I just know that I wasn't friends for very long before there was a bookstore that also sold comics that was within a block of the school we went to at the time. And I remember very quickly discovering that you could have pull lists. And so I had my own tray that I got comics in, and started my long adventure of collecting comics and serialized sequential art and all of that. But like I said, I think that I read Teen Titans because of Eric. I think I ventured into more DC comics because of Eric. Eric was already reading quite a bit of DC, it seemed like, at the time. I was mostly Marvel, and my initial pull of books was a lot of standard Marvel stuff of the time. But I quickly started adding some DC stuff as I very quickly became interested in what was going on in the world of DC. But I've had lots and lots of great comic book experiences with Eric. It was awesome, us as kids, to buy books. There were lots of books that we both bought the same of. There were just books that, like the Teen Titans, for instance, was a huge book for us as kids. We both bought that. Both had our own copies of that. We both bought, things like Crisis when it came out. We both bought Watchmen when it came out. We both bought, Dark Knight Returns when it came out. All that stuff. We both bought those. But there were lots of other books that that only one of us would buy. And, of course, we'd just swap books and read books, and that was awesome getting to read. I read twice as many books, even as a kid, because of that. I own very little Legion of Superheroes, but I read lots of Legion of Superheroes because Eric read that. It's one of the ones I remember most. I remember reading a lot of Blue Devil, too, and things like that. But yeah, but that was awesome. I think the first real con we both went to, we didn't go together, but we both definitely went to the same con that year. That was the year that Darkest Night was coming out. Jeff Johns was at the con, huge lines, and Eric was enough of a bud. I gave him my book because he was already in line, and he stood for hours in line to get signatures from Jeff Johns, which was pretty cool of him. But yeah, I've had lots and lots of great conversations about comics with Eric. As kids, we were constantly talking comics. We wrote our own stories. We didn't actually write comics at the time, but we wrote superhero stories because neither one of us really felt confident enough in our drawing to actually attempt to draw at comic books. So we wrote lots of stories, and this is in a time when we were in school and in high school and whatnot, where you dreaded writing a 5-page report, and we would easily write 30 plus pages of story without even thinking about it. Kind of a thing. We talked our own superheroes. We made up our own superheroes. Talked infinitely about those superheroes and whatnot. Even wrote our own crossover type events of our own and that sort of thing. But since I got back into comics, I've talked comics a lot with them. I used to work in the same city that Eric worked in. There's some distance between us as far as where we live. He lives about 30-some minutes away from me, so we don't actually get to see each other all that much anymore. Adult lives tend to keep us busy with kids and that sort of thing. But I used to have lunch with him quite often, and we always talked comics during those lunches and swap comics and whatever, and those were great. So the unfortunate thing about my new job is I'm closer to home, which is great for me and all of my stuff that I want to do as far as that goes. But I don't get to actually physically meet with Eric and talk with him that much as I used to, and I do miss that. But he invites me to be on his podcast with him every so often. That's always fun because I love talking comics with him. I've had him on my show when I did the Comic Book Parfait, hoping to do more of those in the future, and certainly he will be invited then. Love talking books with him. And like I said, he's probably responsible for my collecting the way that I do. I don't know when it would be that I may have taken that infinite step of having that pull list and being that kind of a collector, without having that friendship with Eric. And I got lots of great experiences with him. I remember before the first Batman movie coming out, us buying some sort of comic book magazine. I can't even remember what it is now. And we were on a family trip of mine, and Eric had been invited along, going to Wisconsin. We live in the Idaho, Washington area, and we were driving to Wisconsin. We bought those magazines at some place at a stand on our trip there, and we were reading about that movie and us debating who would make good Batman and the Joker and all that stuff, and large conversations, and not really believing the movie would ever get made and whatnot, and all that kind of stuff, and just lots of really cool stuff. So I just once again wanted to say, happy birthday, Eric. Hope you have a great one. For you that don't know Eric, all right, subscribe to him. You should subscribe to him. I'll put links down below to Longbox Review. I'm not sure if I can link to his blog, which is an excellent blog, which is probably the place to go to really get the full spectrum of what all Eric does, because he does write stuff, beyond just doing the videos. The videos for him are a newer thing. I think it's Longbox Review at WordPress.com, I believe, is the his actual website. He writes. He does this great thing where he just randomly kind of pulls a book out a week and talks about those books, which are really awesome. He does lots of podcasts. Check out his solo podcast, Podcasts with Other People, Podcast with Me. If you're into lots of podcasts, you can probably track him down. He lately has been on a few other people's podcasts as guests and whatnot. Extremely knowledgeable guy. And yeah, go and check him out. Do me a favor, give him a happy birthday gift of going and subscribing to him and checking him out and talking to him, because he loves to talk books. He'll talk books as much as me, which is a lot, huh? Anyway, happy birthday, man. Hope you have a good one.